Yo, what up folks, MTG here, and slowly making our way around all the decks buffed in Explorer Anthology 3. Today we're having a look at Izzet Ensoul. Izzet Artifacts, Weird Artifacts, A. And the new card here is Shrapnel Blast, adding to a pretty solid blue-red artifact aggro shell. So Shrapnel Blast is a new card, 1 and a red, additional cost to cast, sacrifice artifact, does 5 damage to any target. Conveniently, that is core player's life total, combine that with some soul attacks, and all of a sudden you get to 20. And so, here is our shell. 4 copies of Ornithopter, very straightforward. It's free, it attacks in the air, it's great. We have 1 copy of the Black Staff of Waterdeep. Just a 1-of, because it's legendary, and hey, you can basically pay 1 in a blue, another target non-token artifact you control becomes a 4/4 artifact creature, for as long as it's on the battlefield. It's a bit like a mini as the soul. It's pretty nice, but just the 1 copy is a bit more fragile in some ways. We have 4 copies of Bowmat Courier. Is a hasty attacker and an artifact itself, but also this ability where when it attacks, you access the whole of your library face down, and then later on in the game you can pay red, discard your hand, and then get all those cards into your hand. Gives you a nice source of card advantage, especially if you have other targets for their removal, such as like Ensouled stuff, Automaton, that kind of thing. Is pretty nice. We have a couple of pieces of interaction for creatures with Voltage Surge, does 2 damage or 4 if you sacrifice an artifact. We do have some things floating around, so it is okay there. We then have 4 copies of Gingerbrute. Huge, another artifact creature with haste, but also has the ability to stop it being blocked by creatures except creatures with haste, which is super solid, especially when you get around to ensouling it. And then lastly, Springleaf Drum, kind of giving this these like fast artifact starts, and also leaving artifacts around in play that you can then later on Shrapnel Blast away or turn into things. Then at 2, so kind of the namesake card of the deck. The Shrapnel Blast is the new one, but the deck is called like Izzet Ensoul, and that is because Ensoul Artifact is kind of the premier card. 1 in a blue enchantment artifact. It becomes a 5/5. There are a bunch of good targets. So Ornithopter has flying, which is great evasion. Similarly, the Gingerbrute, obviously has the can't be blocked ability on it. We also have some other stuff. Darksteel Citadel is a fantastic target because obviously it's indestructible, so it doesn't get hit by rats like Supreme Vets and the like. I will say that if you do that, March is your absolute nightmare, and you'll learn to hate that very quickly. We then have a couple of copies of Yosha Declares War, which is an enchantment, a saga. Has read ahead, so you can change the modes on it. So if you want to, you can play it for 1 in a red and just make something a 4/4 for the turn. But it gives you some like longevity. Make an Ornithopter, then gives you some more creature interaction, especially for some larger creatures. And then lastly, obviously, making something to a 4/4. Again, we've got plenty of great targets for that as well. The last to drop in the deck is Patchwork Automaton, and it's a bit of a doozy. 2 mana for a 1/1 doesn't seem that great, but Ward 2, so some protection there. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Patchwork Automaton. Is really powerful, but does play a little weird in this deck because we have all these cards we want to cast early, like Springleaf Drum and Ornithopter. You tend to, hey, alright, you might want to structure your play a bit differently if you have the Automaton in hand. Maybe not go all out guns to the wall, or alternatively, you, hey, deploy your early stuff, and then you have Automaton and whatever you draw into to kind of rely on and build back up later on. It's fairly solid. I think it's too good not to play in a way. And that's the last 2 drop we have here. Then we have Skilled Animator, another Ensoul style effect. This one's a little bit more fragile and a bit more expensive. So 2 in a blue for a 1/3. Enters the battlefield, target artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 5/5 for as long as it remains on the battlefield. So hey, you play as a 3-drop and make something else a 5/5, whether that be a Springleaf Drum or Ornithopter. Again, same as Ensoul. Hey, is fragile, like hey, if they have a way to remove the animator, it goes back to whatever it was. But it's still very solid, and enables you some really powerful, like, you're attacking for like 10 damage on turn 3, which is really strong. And then lastly, 4 copies of Fable the Mirror Breaker. This is kind of holding everything together. It's one of the best cards I've thought for a reason. It helps you kind of like loot away, especially later on in the game when maybe you draw into Ornithopters and they're like not going to be great on turn 6. The Goblin makes a bunch of artifacts if you get to attack with it, and then obviously if you get to go on later, hey, you clone your Skilled Animator. There's all kinds of stuff. Fable's just a really strong card. Gives us another kind of like way to go a bit longer into the game. The deck can fizzle out a little early, and it's really dangerous if you get flooded. To that note, we are playing 19 lands. We have those 4 Darksteel Citadels, which are obviously fantastic with Ensoul, and also with Skilled Animator. We then have 4 Steam Vents, 4 Spire of the Canal, 2 Shivan Reef, 4 Riverglide Pathway, and then lastly an Otter Warrior, just for a little bit of interaction. Only 19 lands, but we're really like curving out very early on the curve. We're maxing out on 3 mana, and we also have these Springleaf Drums, which kind of help us cheat a little bit in that regard. So, I'm going to take this through some best of 1 ranked. If you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel. Again, making my way around the format, trying to cover as many decks as possible, and still more to come, so hey. Alright, ranked games. Alright, first match with his Ensoul. What we roll into. Bit of a slow start, because like we have Drummond to Ensoul it. Just if it starts to settle. I feel like the Fable kind of keeps everything together, pulls everything together. That's what we see on our opponent's side, what we draw into, whether we actually see up this the drum on turn, or not. Blind. Feel good about it. But, okay. Obviously, it's hard to pass up Ensoul into Dark Citadel versus a deck without waste decks, I think. So we'll see what our opponent's up to. Yeah, at least like probably one of these loop one of these drums away to the Fable. Other thing is, if we draw into like Ornithopters, we can actually tap to a Fable. That'd be pretty cool. That means we're lined up in a position to then Ensoul on turn 3. So I think I'll leave the canal and then try to get the Dark Citadel out. Alright. Here comes the drum. What our opponent's up to. 3 mana is good. Definitely just want to Ensoul this then. Try and end them as fast as possible, especially since they don't have an elf start. Like, potentially could be not mono green, but likely to be. Ooh, we should. I think we should maybe have a basic for Besagi, but I don't feel too awful about it. Get in. There's tons of pressure. On does turn off Dark Citadel, but it doesn't stop us attacking his Springleaf Drum, so that's kind of okay. Let's see. So we're gonna access to 4 mana. Fiora is an untap here, if they depending on what they've got to do. If they do have a land, they can maybe go untap, make a Old Growth Troll. Kind of situation. They might just leave it on 7, which gives them 5, potentially 6 mana next turn. Again, they need to draw a land for that. It doesn't got one. So they could just be holding it for a while. Okay, Haven again. That gives them 6-7 mana. That's in danger range. This is interesting. We want to Animator here because Animator is lethal. So let's discard Springleaf Drum. Fable? Just discard. Actually, nice. We can start digging for Shrapnel Blast. Just if there's any way I mess this up. Drop this in, go blue, red, blue. And we're gonna animate the Dark Citadel. Yep, all of those. Alright, nice. Oh hey. Super fast. Level kill. You know, fairly fast. Alright, next match. Alright, super fast getting against one green. They had a bit of a slower hand, but we were able to absolutely punish them for it. That is what the deck does pretty well. Again here, like, Ornithopter, Bowmat Courier, turn 2 we're installing the Ornithopter. It looks very strong. We've got the Shrapnel Blast for reach later on. See what our opponent's up to. We've got on the draw here. Okay. Elves means we might struggle to get through on the ground a little bit later on. I'm pretty happy to offer the trade with the Bowmat Courier. May as well play this Ornithopter post combat. About it. We'll play this out because we want to see it up next turn, and it's okay. So, okay. Depending on how fast they can kill us, we need to hit with. This does no longer attack through, because, you know, not ideal. Yeah, Rex Age, they didn't have a second land, so we can punish them a bit for that. Yeah, we are in a position to finish them off very quickly, giving me a Shrapnel Blast. We'll see how that turns out. Because even though they have, like, Llanowar Elf into Elvish War Master is your fastest start, without the second land, you are much slower than you would be otherwise. I guess the surprise of nobody. But hey. The fact that they're playing territory maybe implies that they're more, like, black-green. It's still like a really good start from them. We're going to take 3 here, that is alright. The main thing is they don't have a mana generation engine to get this online. If they top deck, or not if they top, yeah, I guess they'd be top decking Nixos to get green 2, 3, 4. We're not too worried about that. Yeah, so we're going to go in here. Play the Ornithopter, just in case we need to block. Then we're going to look to Shrapnel Blast something away at the end of our opponent's turn. Okay, there's another match where our opponent's kind of stumbled a bit. So we've not truly been tested, assuming we get through this. Yeah. Versus matchups where people have access to cards like Spell Pierce and counter magic in general, things like the Shrapnel Blast get a lot worse. Because hey, you sacrifice a thing, you play this, it gets countered. This is bad. Combat. I think I'm just gonna block. Where does the block like? We'll just Shrapnel Blast face. Just because you want to sacrifice one of the artifacts anyway. The Bowman Courier is not doing anything. The Ornithopter potentially attacks if we or something. They only have a Clan Caller, I think it is. Game over. Even though they have a blocker. We did in fact draw the Ensoul for the Ornithopter anyway. Alright, well, 2 super fast games, but our opponent's not really interacted with us or put much of a fight yet, so see you in the next one. Alright. Yeah, see if any of these go a bit closer. This is a 1 lander which I don't think we can keep. We're on the play, but hey, yeah. It has some play to it. Oh, interesting. What are we putting back here? Maybe it might just be the Springleaf Drum back. Not really accelerating it in a meaningful way. Yeah, that seems fine. Lead with the Bomat Courier. No, we want blue mana. Probably before we want red mana. Maybe being optimistic that the Bomat Courier will live long, but we're also not going to chuck our hand away. But we still have lots of cards. Yeah, that is, hey, your opponent has, like, plays their stuff out, we play our hand out, and then we ran out of cards, we get to redraw off the Bomat. It's quite a good card if this is blue-white control, which it appears to be. Can definitely be difficult. Cards like Temporary Lockdown, the Wandering Emperor if we get to that stage. Yeah, there's a few different annoying cards. I'm going to lead with an attack because I really want to play this Patchwork Automaton. I would rather, while we have one Bomat Courier in play, at least not play the other one. And then, like, hey, if they remove this one, we can play the other. If we have to discard it, so it's up, then that's kind of fine later on. But, yeah, it's like playing into Jawari Disruption or Make Disappear, but there's no real way to get around it. The other cards don't matter as much. Automaton gives us the fastest clock by a long way. We don't have the 3rd land guaranteed for Field Animator yet. And even like if we don't do anything here, they're just going to Make Disappear our next play. We're not putting on lots of pressure damage-wise. What they actually decide to do though. I mean, I've not. Alright, we see a sensor. Maybe that means they're stuck on 2 lands. Took a while over that. Alright, well, 3rd land for us. I don't necessarily want to. Sorry, I was messing with some paper cards. Yeah, I'm just going to animate it here. What is just basically that card? On the shoulders, there's very little cost to. Animate it, we've got a few cards under here right now. Yeah, no, I'm gonna play with Mercury. You can pay for Make Disappear right now. That's fine. If it gets absorbed, then around 21 life, they've got a large. Basically done nothing in terms of damage, but we, playing to the board. Using some cards. So 3, 4. That's just so little damage, isn't it? Yeah, let's play Gingerbread out. We just sit here attacking with 2 Bowman Couriers, there's no need for them to Supreme Verdict us. This way we're getting like, alright, cool. Assuming we like make our attack, yada yada yada, we get to add 3 cards off our match. The idea is, because you can hold priority with ability on the stack, you'd be able to attack with both, have 4 cards under them, and then be able to use both. There's no real reason for them to commit anything off this. So they just kind of sat there and played doing nothing. Alright, opponent's attacking over something. Maybe they have a Sharp Typhoon here. That's actually what I'm a little worried about. No, okay, they're going to march like couriers. I think because of this Vault Surge, I'm just going to... Let's grab the card. The good Animator, at least in the control match, was a bit clunky as well. I think 2 random cards is better than Scared Animator plus a dead one. Which isn't super controversial, but hey, here we are. Okay, and we still have a Bowman Courier in play. Now we're looking to like, hey, we're going to play a land, see what we draw off the top, and then we've got Shrapnel Blast and sacrifice this. Oh, they had multiple. Interesting. And Ensoul's an interesting one as well. Gee. Let's stuck on 3 land. In that case, I think we want to force them to use their removal spell on the thing that's not Bowman Courier, which means playing the Ensoul here. Going kind of like 1 for 1. Well, normally you'd be kind of a little bit miserable because we've got the Bowman Courier still, makes me feel okay about it. And we still have a Shrapnel Blast. If they remove this, maybe we can cash it in for 5 damage. Sort of better, sort of worse. Okay. We have to make our attack. Notably, we can't sack this, come into this, and then also add the Bowman Courier. We need red for this ability. Okay, they're the 4th land, which could be a Wandering Emperor, which is kind of okay given where we are at the moment. We go to combat. So if they try and Wandering Emperor, I'm just going to sack whatever that is that they rid of. It's a bit of a weird one, as we sack the Bowman Courier to itself. There's a piece of interaction, they're incentivized to do it now, or the yeah, there is a Wandering Emperor.
Anyone who harms my people must contend with me.
I'm not gonna let this ability resolve. So do I want 5 damage and 2 cards? And no Junior Root in play. Two cards going to be better than Shrapnel Blast. They get a 12. We have no Artifacts in play. I think we should have to activate this. Pretty tough. This way we at least like maintain an artifact, but like, oh gosh, we're in trouble. This is kind of why we have Fable in the deck. Matches like this where you don't want to get flooded. If you get flooded versus blue white, there is no real way to come back from that.
Strike fast and strike hard.
They stumbled a bit, but have recovered pretty well. I want to play one of these so that we have one in play. Kind of forced to do this. I don't want them to just be able to just cash this in for 2 life and then just break. Try to draw something. If they have a memory deluge, you hold the multiverse. Shard Typhoon's also really bad. Though, at least we can get through that with the... Okay. We always get to the point where they want to cash this in for... They're in a position where, like, hey, I guess if we don't join something fast, they can start closing the game very quickly.
I have got new moves to
Is the shot coming into the red zone? No. We're here in Ensoul, but they have infinite mana. I talked a bit about March earlier. That's the card we don't want to see this either. It's Dark Citadel for free. They're thinking. Which, like, hey, could be good, but it's more likely they're thinking, hey, what answer should I use? Do I want to counterspell this? Do I want to march it? Do I have another Wandering Emperor sitting around? Well, we'll see. We can't really afford to play around any of those things. I need to make sure that I do actually activate. They could have... they shouldn't have sat on the wreckage. Block here. That's okay. I'm gonna end. Yeah, the set out being immune to Supreme Verdicts is really great. That is something else. It's not. Ooh, but it does still get the Ensoul, unfortunately. We have no... Oh, that's not true. We have an Ottawa. Maybe we can end step bounce at some point. So I'm not going to sacrifice this. We're reduced to plain old Dark Citadel.
keep watch for intruders.
Okay. Someone's in pass. They have 5 cards in hand. I'm going to concede in fairly short order if we can't assemble anything. It's one... if you're serious about grinding, like, on the ladder, getting in 3 games when you, instead of, like, one match, like, that goes to, like, 20 minutes versus blue white control is probably better. Like, just quit and play, just quit and let up another game. Yeah, I'm just going to scoop this up. We're dead here, but it's not going to actually happen for another 10 minutes. So, yeah, move on. Let's move on. I'll see you in the next one. Alright, 2 and 1 so far. I'll wait 2 more matches and see where we are time-wise. This is an interesting one, because we've got this, like, weird Patrick Automaton Ornithopter interaction. We'll keep this. We've got the Fable as well, and 3 lands. When we actually want to cast this. Mono green. Ooh. Oh, and we have Blackstaff. Okay, so in that case we definitely cast this. Given we're playing against mono green, we need to try and put as much pressure on as fast as possible. And hey, the Blackstaff also being able to make this a flyer early is going to be really nice. I could potentially be elves here, but like, normally you see like a 1 layer of the Hydra in the elf deck. But we'll see what this actually. Got myself a Steam Vents just in case the aura becomes useful later on. So, Automaton versus 4 flying. They're gonna have 1, 2, 3. They make a Cavalier next turn, but this also. Our best bet on killing them in time is gonna be. Oh, they have Besagi. Oh, they have a Besagi. Okay. I'll pay life for this. Just get this into play. Again, we can turn it into whatever. Alright, we kind of got. There's the Cavalier as well. Alright. So, on the drummer versus green, we do want to untap this. Okay. It's fine. Bound to Cavalier seems bad in general. We have the Automaton that we want to get into play. Automaton plus making this a 4/4, unfortunately, not attack pass. I think sadly the answer is we have to make Fable and try and loot towards Reach. And by Reach I mean like more Shrapnel Blasts. The Cavalier Stone was a decent amount. We can maybe look to like end step, get rid of it. As long as I don't have a Nykthos, generate to the max. There we go, it's going pretty. This is making like 8 now? 9. Okay, nice. Cavalier in the red zone, all about that. No blocks. You're losing the race. You also mid over Ugin. Yeah. I don't think this cuts it. Okay, land to land isn't doing a ton better, to be honest. This is a bit of a weird one. Okay, you always consider shooting that. I'm gonna make these attacks here. Basically, me wanting to get a card under the Bowmat Courier. And if they let the 2/2 through, they let the 2. So. Oh, this only this one. Oh! That was the other part of this, that we can make this a 4/4. I should have just done that main phase. Play the land out. This is sloppy. They still let some damage through here. It's a tough one. They have mana for... Oh, they have another Storm Vestal. From hand. This... Oh, Oddity's actually really strong here, right? Yeah. Son of Haste. And the untapped keeper.
Let's get moving.
Alright. Just gonna presumably just flash back here. Paris on the festivals. Okay, I think we can safely say this one's done. Let's see what they've got, just in case. Got a Gargaroth. Go on, cast the next one. Oh, more than do it. Okay. Alright, that's the other half of the green matchup, where they kind of get out ahead. Cavalier does Stonewall us, especially because we're kind of relying a little bit on Ornithopters. The one thing that does get around that is Ginger Brute, but unfortunately did not see that here. So, hey. Alright, see the next one. Alright. Yeah, it's the other half. The games where you win really fast are, like, awesome, and the games where you lose very slowly are less awesome. We've learned so far. This hand looks okay. We have Auto Search for some interaction. That is a companion. It's a Yorian, which maybe means enigmatic fires. Could be some blue white pile. We'll keep this. So basically looking at turn 1 Springleaf Drum into turn 2 Automaton. Then we can immediately cast a Ginger Brute off that, trigger the Automaton, and start getting power on it. So hey. Okay, yeah. Enigmatic Incarnation fires. Enigmatic fires, as mentioned. Wait, that's not the right card. And this is a faster way to go about it. Honestly. Sometimes Arena just do be like that. Oh yeah. One of those things where like I'll say I'm gonna do one thing and then just like do another because I'm talking about something or whatnot. Two different things. We can cast Ginger Brute and make a Fable. Pretty good. They're being very slow. Or we can animate it. I think I want to animate here because we are. I think I want to do both. Can't do. Oh no. We'll just animate the new one. None of these sounds set for white mana or red mana. Maybe that's a good sign. We'll see what they have as their like fourth land. They've probably been sandbagging the like shocklands or something else to play on turn 4. But they've not had a fires. Okay, well, Night of One was pretty great. I think the Ginger Brute is annoying, but not the worst. Get red mana here. The Vault Surge here. We'll pay no extra. Into the red zone and then in for a Fable. And we're kind of at that, like, let's go find a Shrapnel Blast point in the game. Well, me messing up this sequence plays earlier. Yeah, it's going to be Springleaf Drum into Automaton, tap it with Springleaf Drum to make a root, get in for 1 on turn 2, have this start growing a bit earlier. So, the way it actually played out, we actually missed some triggers here. But got damage in early. The other way with the first Ginger Brute, so it's not the end of the world. Alright, anyway, there's a game. Let's see the next one. I'm going to play some more then. Alright, I think this is match number 6 now. We'll see how long it goes. This may be the last one, or we'll maybe play one more if it's fast. No artifacts, but in oh well. Shooting up a Dark Soul Citadel on turn 2 when it's going to be tapped is a bit dangerous. The Fable with Shrapnel Blast. Just a little bit of interaction. I'm going to keep it. Bear in mind that if we're attacking with this, it kind of takes it offline. Oh gosh, this is Freeze Fang. Maybe they don't. That's maybe the best thing for us that they could have taken. I do not lie to you when that Shrapnel Blast was not getting played for forever. This is probably the last card we play on our hand, but it's also, I guess, one of the few things that can interact with Grease Fang. So if they just have it naturally, then that is fair enough, I think. As it is, there's a slight danger. No. I don't think we can afford to respect it. That is to say, I don't respect it. There's a benefit from with Bloom Command being a sorcery, I believe. So, there's Grizzly Salvage, but we say no whammy. We DC up a Hellion. Pray they don't have the Grease Fang in hand. Okay. Maybe this was greedy. Slow roll, the no slow roll. If they have a Grease Fang, we'll play another match. Okay, with the Boom Command, I'll take rid of the Ensoul. Fair enough. They do not have the Grease Fang. There goes a Traverse as well, so they are on the Traverse build. No. Once a hand. Now we're in the situation again where, like, do we play the Fable? Do we play the... Fortunately, because the Fable makes a creature, we tap that creature to the Springleaf Drum, and we are okay. I'm gonna say go here. So yeah, we can maybe Voltage Surge and, you know, use a Springleaf Drum for mana to sacrifice the Springleaf Drum to get it to full. Kill Grease Fang. Yeah, they've got a couple extra draw steps. Resolves. I do not want you to go to combat. We drew into Bowback Courier. I'm going to chuck both of these cards away. Shrapnel Blast is a good one as well. This makes a mana. Let's play around Greasefang while we can do. I think. While we have the ability to do that, it seems pretty good too. If we have a Chariot here, then it's a bit more awkward. We'll see. We're also threatening to like flip this soon. Guess we Fable things. We're basically like passing up casting this Fable this turn to hold up Shrapnel Blast. Which I think okay. Yeah, they have Vessel. Big Mutt. Drawing the step in Shrapnel Blast is pretty great. So Mutt does block Bowback Courier, but in a fantastic way. You can also block the Goblin. I'm going to do this. Yes. We sacrifice last treasure. That'll do it. Alright, one more for the road. They did have the Greasefang, it turns out. Alright, yeah, we made it to Greasefang. Gave them like a one-turn window, but we knew that they needed to find at least a vehicle for the graveyard still. They didn't, and yeah, they had to have the Greasefang in hand. But hey, did manage to fade that. Alright, we'll keep this. We're going to try and sequence it correctly this time. I'll do everything in my power. Ooh, Black Red Sacrifice is tough. Maybe you want to play things a little differently from our side then. Even though they play this on turn 1, I'm more likely to just put it in the bin. Just in case they have some kind of shenanigans here. Yes, they might be able to get back later with Oven, but there's so many cards that can just, like, Deadly Dispute it away, that kind of stuff. Let's just get rid of it. It doesn't really disrupt our curve much. Okay, so they had it, which is in hand, but then played the cat first. I might be being stupid, but normally you play the Oven first, and then when you play the cat, if your opponent has a real spell, you can sack the my knowledge. Alright, here's an Automaton. Cool thing about Automaton versus Sacrifice is that it's a little hard to target and shoot down with Mayhem Devil because of the ward ability, which is super handy. Alright, Mayhem Devil. Ooh, Animate is an interesting draw. Get to kind of go off here a little bit, maybe. If they have an answer, they could push this. Yeah. Still not the worst. We get to play out pretty much everything else. We'll put this on 1, which make an Ornithopter. We'll use all the modes. We'll shoot this, they get to kill the Binge Brute. It's kind of not a big deal. This is kind of why this card's great. Now they have Cat Oven back on. Is appointment. Okay, but we have Courier. This animator actually doesn't want to go into the Bowback Courier. The animator definitely wants to go onto the yeah. I guess they'll attack with the Bowback Courier. And if they like, they can block with cat, but if they sacrifice if they just let it die to the cat, they don't get to bring the cat. And I just want to start drawing cards. So you're just going to chuck it in for some life and then just cash it away? Okay, no, they're going to make the block, actually. That takes them back off of Witch's Oven, but it depends what they've got in hand, I guess. They're not sure. Unlucky Witness is like one of the best draws. Yeah. They don't even have to Witch's Oven to get rid of it. So, Village Rights, they need a creature for. Again, the way they've sequenced here, definitely disputing it instead of Witch's Oven it means you don't get. Oh. Fair enough. Alright, fair. Yeah, we'll make this. Kind of incentivized to play the Dark Soul Citadel. You're getting drowned out here. I'll just a pass, just hold the Dark Soul Citadel just in case I like playing around it. Yeah. This one's slipping away, unfortunately. In the soul here, we need to dodge claim the firstborn. The Ensoul and Citadel and kind of reason I didn't just play it out before. It's not really, it can't attack through like Poultry friends. But the Ensoul at least gives us a draw here. So like if we draw into Shrapnel Blast, you maybe get 2 more Ensoul attacks. So they've got 3 ovens now, so we're getting drained by 3, which means we're only really getting in like 3 damage a turn. So maybe it's still a pipe dream. Catch. Yeah, we actually want to draw like Fable here, and then like discard 2 cards to 2 Shrapnel Blasts. I'll plan. The back of the. Fair play. The power of. Oh, interesting. Yeah, 3, 5, 6, 7. Not currently. We're not getting anywhere close. Right, that's going to be it for this set. Hope you enjoyed it. Izzet Ensoul? Deck is really, really sweet. It does have some weaknesses. And does have some room to tune. This is by no means a perfect list, and there's all kinds of sideboard shenanigans you can do as well. So yeah, let me know if you've got any suggestions. Thanks for watching. Peace out.